Hello everybody, back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life's going well. Hope this week has gone well for you, and I hope that today has gone well for you. Today is Saturday, August the 10th, 2024. It's about 2 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you all have had a great Saturday and a great weekend so far, and I hope it's been a fun and productive Saturday for you so far. I want to get straight into this subject because I think this is a subject that every single one of us has kind of thought about before. And that subject is death. And more specifically, the fear of death, the fear of dying. Now, this is something that I have thought about myself. I used to have a fear of dying. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all can relate to this. This whole fear around death. And I think that it's really more a fear of the unknown because we just don't really have the capacity to understand what happens exactly when we die. We don't really have the capacity to understand this whole existence before we existed, if that makes any sense. Like before you were born, what were you doing before? And we don't know. I mean, there's pretty much like all we have is memories and experiences and thoughts and emotions and fears, anxieties, insecurities, etc. All we have are these things from our existence, right? But remember, there was a world way before we ever existed. And one thing that kind of helped me get over my fear of death is to remember that once we die, the world is going to keep going just like it was before we were born. Think about it. Before you were born, it was the same way. You didn't exist. But now you exist. And once we pass, you will no longer exist. Just like before. Right? But I think the ultimate question too is, what were we before this life? And what are we going to be after this life? And I think that unknown is something that people just kind of have a natural fear for. Like, what's next? What's after this? And that's really not nothing to fear. Like, I don't know, me personally, that's something that's kind of like, okay. Like, I think about, like, I'm actually curious, like, okay, what actually comes next after this existence? Do we go to heaven? Do we reincarnate? And that's an ultimate debate as well, depending on whatever religion you practice. But, because different religions have different sayings on what happens after death. And so, but it's like we just don't know for sure. I mean, we can say that, we know for sure, but do we truly know for sure? I would say no, because I don't think we have the capacity to really know what happens. And I think that the way, and what really helped me, the way to really like overcome this fear would be to just live life, right? Just live and don't even worry about that, because, and I think also too, it depends. Like, if you get like very sick and you pass away that way, I think that's something that people kind of fear as well. Kind of just the whole process of dying, right? I guess not death itself. And I think that in our brains we kind of intertwine those things together. The process of dying versus death itself. And I think for a lot of people that say they fear death, I think it's more like they fear the whole process of dying, right? And so that might be what it is too, but you know, that's why I say you have to just live life. Don't take things in this life too seriously because our time here is limited. And once you think about the fact that our time here is limited, I think that will help you to enjoy life as well and not waste your time on things that don't have any true meaning in your life, right? All this stuff that's designed to stress us out, jobs, bills, all that. In the end, all this stuff, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter how many bills you paid, how many hours you worked, etc. when you die. And so it's like, I don't know. I think that in a way too, we've kind of created a system that really didn't necessarily need to exist. This whole system where we pay bills and we pay money and all this type of stuff, right? This whole artificially created system we're in, right? And I know people say, oh, well, it's good that we have this system, we have all this technology and this, that, and the other. But one thing you have to realize is that in the end, none of that's going to matter. And talking about the present now, a lot of people are still unhappy, even though we have all this so-called advanced technology, right? A lot of people, especially here in the United States, are still unhappy. And I think that's because we're not truly living. We're not truly living naturally. We're not truly having real life experiences anymore. We don't even talk to each other. I mean, social media has created the most antisocial society in history. Like, we don't even have those experiences of bonding with one another, right? There's a lot of people that they can't even put their phone down for 5 minutes. They're glued to the phone. Sorry about that. I have neighbors that live above me. But anyway, I just think that what might be deep down a part of our fears because we don't truly live life the natural way. We don't know what it's like to plant a seed in the ground and watch a tree with fruit on it grow, right? We just buy stuff from the grocery store. We don't know what it's like to build our shelter from the ground up. Back in the day, a lot of people built their own houses. You know that? Nowadays, we don't even know how to build a house. We just pay rent and pay somebody to, I don't know. But I just think that we're losing the essentials to life. We've lost the essentials to life, which is bonding, community, family, especially here. I mean, I think in other parts of the world, they still have this, and so there's not a lot of people that necessarily fear death in other parts of the world because they're just living, right? So yeah, we just don't know. We don't really have the capacity to know. Um, and I just think at the end of the day, it's all gonna happen to all of us anyway. So what's the point of fearing death? Like, I think that's what helped me out too. It's like, okay, it's gonna happen anyway. It doesn't really matter what I think, what I say, or whether I actually want to live forever or not, which I really don't want to live forever. But we all are going to have our end point in this existence, in this realm, in this reality. Now, do we reincarnate? Honestly, sometimes I think that we do. But then it's like at the same time, what if we are going to go to heaven? Well, some of us are, not everybody. I can tell you, not everybody's going to go to heaven if that's real. But I guess it's just something to think about. You know, another thing I think about, all of our thoughts, our fears, insecurities, emotions, etc. When we die, like, all of that stuff's gonna go away out of our brain because we die, you know? And most importantly, our fears and insecurities and anxieties, the things that scare us, all that's gonna go. It's something to think about as well. Like, you know, all of us have an end point in this existence. Our time is limited here. This is temporary. And what if it's a temporary stop? Like, what if when we die, we just wake up somewhere else and this whole reality is really not a reality, but it's just a dream? I think about that as well. Like, the possibilities are endless. Maybe it's something that we just simply don't have the capacity to know, but there's something lying after this existence, because even our concept of time is going to go away once we die. Like, there is no, like, okay, like your concept of time, how time flows, how memories flow, all that's going to go, right? Do you have recollections or memories from before you were born? No. So what was happening before you were born? Who knows? I don't know. See? Something to think about. It's non-existence that I guess we fear. It's gonna be one day I don't exist anymore. You know, there's gonna be one day where everyone watching won't exist. And that's something that we have to accept. And that's why we have to live life to the fullest. We have to not take life so serious. And me personally, this is another reason I'm trying to retire early, because I want to retire when I still have good years left. You know, I'm trying to make all my years good by eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. But, you know, I want to be able to be free from this whole existence of working. Why do we wait until we're 65 to retire? Like, why is that even something that's socially acceptable, right? To wait until you're 65, and, you know, once you're 65, you know, your best years are behind you, and, you know, at 65, a lot of people have health issues, and, you know, that's when you retire, when you gave all your best years to some corporation that doesn't care about you. I don't want to give all my best years to a corporation. That's why I want to retire as fast as I can. I don't care if I have to downgrade completely. At least I'm not giving all my best years to a corporation. That's how I look at it. If we want to talk about retirement, because a lot of people retire and they die like within 2 or 3 years of retiring. It's the craziest thing. Retiring at 65. Man, sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah, that's kind of why I want to retire early too, because I just want to live life. I just want to live freely without the constraints of paying bills. Worrying about paying bills, or worrying about waking up to an alarm clock to go to work every day, to drive in traffic to go to some corporation every day that doesn't care about me. You know good and well that these corporations don't care about us. So it's like, why not live frugally and just, live? People say you gotta have all these millions of dollars to retire. If you know how to live frugally, you really don't need that much. Right? You need food and a shelter, and it doesn't have to be fancy either. Right? It's like, I think sometimes we overcomplicate this thing, because I see people talking about, well, when you're age 65, you need this much or you're not going to make it and all this. I mean, at that age, a lot of people aren't doing well health-wise anyway. So it's like, why not make it a goal to get out of this rat race early, right? Just something to think about. But I mean, going back to death, I mean, it's all going to happen to all of us. We just don't know when it's going to happen. But I think it's something that we should really just, just accept, just understand that, what, this is going to happen no matter what. And so there's no point in fearing it. I know we don't know it's going to happen, but it's going to be okay. We are going to be fine. Right? They call it eternal rest for a reason, because we don't have the fears, the anxiety, right? Anymore. I think it'll be fine, and I think that's what really helped me out. And so, yeah. Don't fear it if you fear it. It'll be fine. When I was little, and I, for the first time, heard that everyone is going to die one day, I can't lie, that scared me. I was scared, and I kept thinking about it, and I was just overthinking about it. And I don't know what got me to stop thinking about that, but it would kind of be an off and on thing until I just accepted it. And then I thought about the fact, okay, what was happening before I was born? I didn't exist before I was born, and when we die, we ain't going to exist anymore then. So this might just be one stop in, many different realms and realities we're going to be in. Who knows, y'all? I don't know. I'm just saying, but live life. Don't take life serious. Value experiences over possessions. I think that's another thing too. We stress ourselves out and make ourselves unhappy in this life because we value possessions over experiences. I'm talking travel, live life, be involved in your community, etc. Bond with people. I know we have all this smart technology, smartphones and stuff that have gotten us away from connecting with people, but we got to get back to that. And I think that's something that we're missing. And so, anyway, I do thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you were relaxed, and I hope that I did inspire thought. Remember, don't fear death. It's okay.